So I sprayed a single spray of Aramis on my hand like 2 hours ago, and I can still smell it. This thing is potent. It may be old and old-fashioned, and it has a lot of notes that aren't particularly popular anymore, but if you're looking for a sort of a classically masculine fragrance that still has a lot of longevity, then Aramis is definitely something to explore, because this thing is potent, and I've had several people comment on it at work already. But again, I can't stress enough that it is very old-fashioned smelling. So if you're somebody that's into newer, sweeter fragrances, this probably won't be for you. Powerful. And while I was there, I also picked up David Beckham Classic because I do like the note breakdown, and it's meant to be quite ambery. So I'm going to review this when I get home, and I'll probably attach it to the end of this video. So it's sort of going to be like one of my talking videos that's going to happen to have a fragrance review in it as well. Now that I'm back home, let's have a look at this in a little more depth. Packaging is pretty simple. You just get the bottle in the box. There's no other fancy packaging or anything. Some information. Despite how cheap it is, the presentation's okay. Looks masculine. I've got one spray on my right hand, and the cap actually doesn't come off easily. Like, you've got to put a bit of force into it. See? Although that's doing it one-handed. And it's got a nice click to it as well, as you probably just heard. First impressions, I do get citrus in the opening. I'd say it's lime. It's got a sort of a fresh lime quality to it, but it's also very sweet, and a touch woody as well. It's not terrible. It sort of reminds me of some of the Adidas fragrances I've smelled. I do actually get some of that amber that's meant to be in there as well. Some of the more prominent notes are meant to be lime, mint, gin, cypress, I think amber, and Texas cedar. It's not a complex fragrance, it's simplistic and it's linear, at least so far, but it has a masculinity to it, and I think that comes from how simple the ingredients are. It definitely doesn't smell like ultra cheap or anything like that. It does have a mass appealing quality to it, and as far as fragrances go, it's got the sort of notes in it that you would expect most people to just enjoy. I mean, I like sort of oudi, animalic fragrances, so that's where I sort of lean towards. But it's hard to deny that little fragrances like this, or cheap fragrances like this, I should say, that are competently made and mass marketed, they stick around for a reason, and it's because they're, mass appealing. David Beckham Classic is going to be the type of fragrance that just appeals to everyone. Well, most people at least. You're not going to, wow a bunch of niche fragrance hounds or anything like that, but it's certainly got enough charm to it that it's going to work for you in pretty much any situation. And this is going to be one of those fragrances where you can wear it pretty much year round. I mean, the warmth from the amber and that slight woodiness is going to make this viable in the colder months, but that citrus and the mint and the cypress in the top and the middle are going to keep this, usable and wearable in the warmer months as well. This is a versatile fragrance, and it's definitely got an appeal to it. I can tell that people are going to like this when I wear it. Is it my favorite fragrance of all time? No, but it's got enough to it where I'm not going to say, oh, I don't recommend this fragrance. Beckham Classic isn't a bold fragrance. It's not groundbreaking. It's a little cheap, but I have to recommend it. I have to recommend it on the basis that for $10, you can get a lot worse than this, and there are a lot worse smelling fragrances that cost 2-3 times more than this as well. So I actually recommend this one, especially if you're after a versatile fragrance as well. I'm eventually going to buy a bottle of Aramis as well and review that. I wouldn't mind reviewing a vintage bottle as well to compare it to a new one, but they're actually going for like over $100 on eBay right now, so I'm going to put off reviewing the vintage bottle for the time being, and I might just stick with one of the more modern, newer bottles. I also want to point out that Aramis I sprayed on my hand hours and hours ago is still there. It's still potent. It's more than a skin scent too. Like, I can still smell it at quite some distance away. So if you're after a potent, classic masculine fragrance, Aramis might appeal to you. Anyway, this has been like a little review, a mini review of sorts, and yeah, my name is Aussie Marcel, the most luscious locks on YouTube, and thanks for watching.